Hello out there. Welcome to the Heavy Montes podcast and my comedy show. Non America, the Republican Party and all the voters, the farmers, and the Catholic Church and the so called evangelicals, okay? They said that Donald Trump was a great man and they voted for Donald Trump. Again, welcome to the Heavy Montes morning show. Non America, what I cannot understand, and I want everybody to think about this. Why is the Republican Party always calling the Democratic Party's name and playing the blame game when they are in control? Now, Donald Trump told his voters, told everybody, those maggots, in the Congress came out and told you that they were going to make America great again. You understand? You know, convince you farmers to vote against yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because you were vicious racists. Okay? Vicious racists. And I want to say something to the Hispanic people out there. Don't pick their vegetables ever again. Find something else to do when you come over to this country. You don't have to be a freaking slave, for these people anymore. Make them pay fair wages and shit, okay? Don't let them, don't pick, stuff for pennies anymore, huh? Because now they need you. Okay, make them pay you Hispanics, okay? Now, America, the southern states, they're abuser of children. And these governors in the southern states, you know what I'm saying, that reincarnation of, Robert E. Lee in South Carolina, I say, huh? Sent his military to Capitol again, the Confederate pig in South Carolina. I don't like some bitch. Okay. And I'm from South Carolina. They control the whole entire state. In the city of Charleston, they got these Confederate statues all over the freaking place. They still have the place where they sell slaves, a slave market, huh? Downtown Charleston. You see what I'm trying to tell you? I used to go there when I was a kid and walk down through that shit, down on what they call the Battery. You understand? So, America, what I want to say to you out here is the Republican Party dug their own freaking grave. Let's bury the bastards. Let's bury them by voting them out everywhere. Now, these they have what they're saying. I have a video series saying that Republican voters are stupid, and they are. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been dumbed down. You know, they've been told that the Democratic Party, and I told you I follow this shit. I followed Rush Limbaugh. There was a guy called the Black Avenger. He was on the radio, and they were out there, man. They were selling that garbage. Tea Party shit. Telling these so-called people that black people who've been slavery, who we used to be the target a long time ago, we still are, as blacks, minorities, and women. But I want to say again, America, you know, without rambling, the Republican Party are domestic terrorists. You know, they are a pedophile ring. Pam Bondi, she was involved in that shit. You understand? Steve Bannon, they said he was there somewhere. He was the national spokesperson, one of the guys who said that he wants to destroy the country, the government. You understand? He's been involved in all kind of illegal shit, you know. And Trump's been pardoning all these people because they are a fucking criminal organization, domestic terrorists. You know, that's what they are. You can't vote for a Republican. Now they're saying to the American people, the Republican Party, to you maggots, they're saying we're going to destroy your country and a goddamn thing you can do about it. But that's a lie. That's a freaking lie. And that's the reason I tell you, register as a Democrat. Heavy Monte has the register as a Democrat drive. We want to get the Republicans' numbers down to zero. Huh? We want to win the election before it happens because they're working now. You understand? So if you're a maggot and you voted for Donald Trump, I want to hear from you. I want to hear, hey, I'm not voting for that motherfucker game. Okay, I'm not voting for a pedophile, a possible pedophile. I'm not voting for a man who said he was God and only I can fix it. He's fixed it all right. Huh? He fixed it okay. Now we can see. Let's not be afraid of America. Huh? Let's vote. See, I want to explain something to you, America. When a bully like Donald Trump and that criminal organization, okay, his Department of Justice, the FBI, they're everything that they said to you that Joe Biden was. They're criminals, okay? And we need to expose them. You see what I'm saying? And right now, the famous MAGA influencers out there, they're standing up. Some of them. Some of them are saying, we made a mistake. This guy is bad freaking news. You understand? That's what some of these MAGA influencers are saying. So you're not only hearing it from Heavy Monte. Donald Trump needs to be arrested, put in handcuffs, and dragged to prison immediately. You understand? What type of country will allow a man like Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and that cabinet that they have, and that fucking maggot Supreme Court, which you know is corrupt? They're corrupt. Huh? They are corrupt. You know it. Heavy ain't lying. Look at what they said. I'm gonna give you a good example. Those putrid pigs on the Supreme Court, you know, a handmaiden, a voter suppressionist, an Uncle Tom, I'm trying to tell you, and some sexual predators on the Supreme Court, they say. Maybe you don't know. But you need to examine that for yourself. You see what I'm trying to say? They said there some of them are sexual predators. That John Roberts, that's the worst fucking thing that ever happened to the goddamn Supreme Court. That motherfucker should be in jail. You understand? He's a fucking racist. You might well have a KKK leader as a Supreme Court, justice. Huh? The guy who runs the Supreme Court, okay, is a racist, in my opinion. A misogynist, a voter suppressionist. Huh? And he shouldn't be, in the Supreme Court. None of those six bastards. Just like Donald Trump's so-called spiritual leader said. He said, if we get six people on the Supreme Court, we can do what we want. Huh? So the Supreme Court, we don't have a Supreme Court. Okay? We don't have a president. We don't have the Republican House and Senate. They are not worthy to be in office. They are pedophile protectors. What are they going to say to you, America? Huh? The voter. Huh? They hide. I'm trying to tell you now. These bastards, the farmers are talking about they want us to send them a check. The rich bastards. Don't send them shit. And don't pick their shit. Don't go back to the fields unless they pay you a decent wage. Go fucking home, there. Tell them, fuck them. What I'm trying to tell you? Mexico is a pretty good place to live now. Mexico is surpassing the United States. United States is, you understand? And they're going to be that way until you put the Democratic Party back in power. But you need to put the Democratic power back in power everywhere. Everywhere. Don't ever, ever vote for a Republican again. You see what I'm saying? Now, Charlie Kirk is the person they want you to take his honor. Go to my YouTube channel and look at the playlist Seneca Project. Charlie Kirk in his own words. See, and the bankers are going around right now telling everybody that the country is doing great, that Donald Trump's got a high approval rating. They're just lying because they're saying, and they're betting on this. Our voters are so ignorant and so racist and such a misogynist, and the farmers proved it. They gave up their jobs and their lives, okay, for Trump. Because, that's what I told you yesterday. I told you yesterday that Father Divine, a famous black minister, okay, people gave him mansions and gave him cars and gave him everything. He was driving back then a Rolls Royce, you know what I'm saying? Rich, okay, playing people, they say. And Jim Jones, the cult leader, said, I'm going to go check this Father Divine guy out, I told you. And he asked Father Divine, how do you get these people to give you all this shit? And Father Divine told him and what I heard on the documentary they got out there, and Jim Jones said this too. Jim Jones told Jim Jones, he said, tell them that you are God. Huh? Remember Charles Manson? Huh? Those ladies that follow him said Charlie is God. Huh? So Donald Trump told these people that he is God. Only he can fix it. You understand? He was allowed to sell Bibles for $65. He was allowed to rape women. Huh? in a department store civilly, they say. Had to pay $84 million. He's a convict. You see what I'm saying? And 34 charges, America. A 13-year-old, they say that he raped a 13-year-old and covered it up. They say that he's best friends with, with Jeffrey Epstein. They say that he's a Russian spy. You see? And the crying call for them is the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party. How do you believe this stuff? When the Democratic Party is out there saying to you, you know, we're going to put the money that comes into the federal government back into you, the people, in a structure, get you everything in these small towns. You had motherfuckers out there singing songs like, in a small town. You're broke in a fucking small town today. You understand? Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, how difficult for all you people in the small towns that don't have shit and your factories are closing and your young people are leaving? You know what I'm saying? And you're the Democratic Party President Joe Biden said, I love my people, a Christian. I'm going to take care of all my people, even though they hate me and call me Sleepy Joe and call me all these things and lie on me and my family and treat my son like shit who have drug problems. And most of those motherfuckers down in the South on meth, a lot of them, yeah, in these cities, drug addicts. But they use the drug addict, they say. A man who's trying to get his life together, Joe Biden's son. Huh? And somebody said, I don't know how true this is, they said a couple of Donald Trump children are drug addicts. Coke addicts, they say. You see what I'm trying to say? But the press don't say that because they're too goddamn scared, afraid. But they ride Hunter Biden to death. They were on TV every day. And now they're afraid of cowards. You know what I'm trying to say? The president blackmailing them, checking them down for freaking money, and they want us to listen to that shit. Tell what you do. Turn off the corporate media, listen to Heavy Monte, listen to Occupy Democrats, listen to Midas Touch. You understand? A host of others out there, because now we are out there talking, and we're not lying to you. We're not telling you that your country ain't worth a damn. We're telling you that the Constitution and democracy is the way to go. You understand? So you got a group of white men led by a convict, who is saying that they own the world. They have the birthright, you know, and everybody else needs to work for them. Okay, but we're not doing that shit. We're not working for them. Now, I want to say to everybody on my morning show this morning, I want to thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I have 400, okay, right now, and almost an 80, excuse me, I think it's almost 477, 78, something like that. But I'm very close to my 500, you know, goal. Thanks to you. You kept Heavy Monte alive. You understand? You kept my program out there. So I thank you for that. And I want everybody to subscribe. I'm a rookie, but I'll get better. If you look at my earlier podcast, you can see I know what the hell I was doing, but I needed to talk to the American people and relieve the stress by talking to you. Okay? So please subscribe to the Heavy Monte YouTube channel. But America. So America, you must know how your country works. There are books out there for your maggots to read. Okay, read up. Don't find out for yourself what the Democratic Party is doing for you versus the Republican Party. And once you find that out, you will never vote for a Republican again. You know what I'm saying? And it's not too late. I mean, Heavy Monte is kind of hard on you Republicans. Because I'm pushing the envelope to tell you, stop it before all of us end up in an authoritarian dictator state. And then it's too late then. Once he gets control of it, it's done. Democracy is done. And the people who are going to suffer the most is white people because they're the majority. You see what I'm saying? You're the majority, you know. And I mean, black people, you know, they're not worried about us anymore so much, because like the old McFadden Whitehead song, there's no stopping us now. Like I said to you before, if you're a small minority, even though the federal government, did all this shit to you, pushing slave, Jim Crow, and all this shit, you still burn down Black Wall Street. You're still getting better. You understand? And as a race, because there's that many of you. You reinvest into your people, I mean, it's slow, but it happens. The black race is going to get better, okay? But you have a ton of white people, okay? All right? And so the white people, they want to control, okay? Look at the South, the red map. They control all of those people by religion, telling them that black people are bad. And black people are going to school, to colleges. I'm telling you. You understand? I mean, a black person will work at anywhere to go to school. You see what I'm trying to tell you? And also, you don't need a high power education. Just go to an HBCU school or go to online courses, find you something to do, get a trade. But they're telling the white people, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to get an education. Are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you an AK-47 and a weapon and show you how to shoot, and kill people. And they're doing it. Yeah? They're using their own children as terrorists. You see what I'm saying? So if you see all these white children, doing all this shit, shooting up all these people and all this crazy shit, and don't blame it on the Democrats. You see? Blame it on the Democrats. So this is Heavy Monte. I'm not going to keep you too long today on my morning show, but I want you to register as a Democrat. And I want you to vote for a Democrat. And I want you to study the Republican Party. I want you to go listen to Fox News. Fox News said that we should kill all the homeless people. Huh? Fox News said that the Republican Party should change their name to the Nazi Party. And they're the communication specialists, right? Huh? Fox News said they should kill all the lefts over Charlie Kirk. Okay, attack the left over Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was nothing but an operative of America. Huh? Charlie Kirk was the type of person that went to antagonize people. No matter what you said, you could say to Charlie Kirk, God is great. And Charlie Kirk would say, oh, no, that's not true. That's what you think. He's not great. You know what I'm saying? If he was great, he would get rid of all you black folks. You see what I'm trying to tell you? This is what he was. He antagonized people. You know what I'm saying? He goes on a college campus with all the people because they're trying to mess up the college campus and saying that they have the right to speak. But we don't have the right to speak. We can't call them Nazis when they are. They're Nazis. Now, the reason why Henry Monte can say that you can call Donald Trump and the Republican Party Nazi because the Vice President of the United States called Donald Trump Hitler. Huh? Lindsey Graham said he was a kook. The Republicans said this shit. Okay? The Republicans told you who he was. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Liz, what's her name? The lady who was there first, who quit, they got her. You know what I'm trying to say? Liz, I forgot her name. She took it. Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney said he was a bomb. Huh? Adam Kinderman said a Republican said he shits his pants in public. Said he shits his pants, he smells like shit. Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying? What was he saying? The Republicans are saying this stuff. And so why can't I tell the truth? Why can't I say who and what Donald Trump is and who Charlie Kirk is? A lady on the chat, she reported me. Okay, she said on YouTube because I put out Charlie Kirk's own words. You know what I'm saying? His own words. You don't have to lie on Charlie Kirk. All you have to do is play his words, play his videos. You see what I'm saying? Because these people don't really know. They don't. I'm gonna say something here, right? Donald Trump is the devil, okay, an antichrist in the eyes of America. Frederick Douglass said something. He said that America will not ever be a great country until it stops doing this shit to black people. You see what I'm saying? He said that. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Because you're continually trying to destroy a people, okay? And that's Hispanics too, and this is Native Americans too. You're continually trying to destroy a great people. Huh? These are God's people, the Native American, the Black American. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? These minorities, these women, huh? And these poor people, huh? They are here. Okay? These are God's people. Huh? And you abuse them, Republican Party. You abuse the poor whites. You know what I'm trying to tell you? See, America, I'm going to talk to you from the vision of, from my vision and what I see. I don't see any color. Seriously. And the people who know me in my high school that know me and, from South Carolina will tell you, even during Jim Crow, I loved white people. You understand? They're my friends. I played football with them. You understand? In high school, I still are friends with them in high school. My high school, we stick together still, alumni, because it's one of the greatest high schools in America. Okay? And it's integrated, and some great white people, great white Republicans too, huh? in my high school that I'm friends with today. And I don't ask them, who they voted for, because their friendship is more valuable than that. I expect for them to change on their own, and realize what they have done to their country. So America, you know, they want us to fight one another, okay? They want us to destroy one another, but we're not going to do it. Your hope is in the Democratic Party. Your hope is in Heavy Monte, somebody who's out here saying, I'm not afraid. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old man. You see what I'm saying? They say, give me liberty. Okay? We need liberty. Huh? We need freedom. You see what I'm saying? So let's join together with one voice on the left and on the right and say to our country, the Republican Party is a domestic terrorist organization led by a convict. Huh? The Republican Party, a bunch of religious fanatics. You understand? You know, they make $174,000 a year in that god dang on House. I don't know how much the Senate might make more. I don't know. I think it's the same thing, but it's a six-figure salary, and they don't even work that long. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to turn our country over to these bastards on the left or the right. Huh? We're going to be engaged. Huh? We're going to, as a Democrat, we're going to be on the Democrats' ass. Okay, and the Democrats have to realize something. You know, you listen to people. Okay, when they're talking, you understand? And when these red states come out and say things, they go on the records and say they don't want federal aid and they don't want shit. They don't want you to be building shit in this small town and you don't want any money and they hit the federal government. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Let them opt out. You know what I'm trying to tell you? You know what I'm saying? I'm to the point that I don't, most of them motherfuckers don't pay taxes anymore, anywhere, because a lot of them too poor to pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? Keep all their fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Don't invest in Social Security if you don't want it. When your ass get old, you get sick. You should be making Social Security better for the people. Long-term care. When people are living longer now. You know what I'm trying to say? You might have to be in a facility where people can help you and shit. You can't even do that. You just die. Huh? They're taking away money from the senior citizen homes and shit. And the white senior citizens are voting against the goddamn self. Are you crazy? Huh? Are you crazy, man? You see what I'm trying to say? You need long-term health insurance. You see what I'm trying to say? Pandemic breakout, you get sick. You know what I'm saying? We should be planning for this. Building hospitals all over the freaking place. Building universities, educate our people. Make them go to school. If everybody could get an education, you wouldn't have all these gangsters. You know, we can work with the parents, all of our parents, to say, look, when these people are children, we'll train them, not give them fucking guns. They take the school and shoot up the school. Satan. You see what I'm saying? Huh? That Republican Party is evil. And they've been exposed. I told you, Donald Trump was placed on earth. A lot of people don't like this because they don't want me to say by God. But I'm going to say it anyway. By God, to show who America is, okay, and what America is. Huh? You see what I'm saying? Right now, nothing. You know, you have nothing. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Leader, what are you leading? Donald Trump don't even know his name. He don't know who he at. The Republican Party don't know what to do. You can't vote in the Republican Party because the Republican Party is not a governing party. They're an anti-domestic terrorist party. You understand? They're like the Communist Party. You understand? They're like, fascists. You know what I'm saying? They're all the shit. And you can see it by what they're doing. You understand? You don't have to listen to Eddie. You can see what they're doing. Protecting a pedophile. They have a cabinet that's terrible. Attacking black people, attacking Hispanic, attacking everybody, but doing the fuck job. Doing everything but the job. You never hear him talk about anything they do for the American people. You hear him talk about we're going to invade Portland, black people ain't worth a damn, transgender people got problems. No, you got problems, Republican. And your problem is the Democrat Party. So we're coming for your ass. And we're coming for you and we're going to expose you. And this time we're going to have the backing of those influencers. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Because those influencers got to make amends. Those influencers, a lot of them, were, magnetized, and tricked and fooled. Huh? Everybody know who and what the Republican Party is today. Domestic terrorists. And if you call a Democrat a domestic terrorist, huh? After you, the record. So you have a record. Remember, I told you the Republicans didn't have a record. They were good at playing hide and go seek, and always blaming shit on the Democrats. But now they're in control. This is their economy. Don't call Joe Biden man. Don't call the Democratic Party. You owned it. You broke it. Huh? You broke it. And you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how to fix it, the Republicans. Huh? Who in their right mind, Heavy's going to ask this question, would vote for somebody like Donald Trump? Donald Trump. These people that vote for Donald Trump, they are Donald Trump. They are him. You know? I mean, they're close to him. They buy the shit from him. You know what I'm trying to say? They tell you everybody he's so wonderful because he allowed them to be the racist, garbage people that they are. You see what I'm saying, America? So this is Heavy Monte, my morning show on Sunday. A little later on, I will be doing a Daniel Jones. That's a character I developed, a minister, and he talks. I'm going to send it out later on to you. Now, please subscribe to the Heavy Monte YouTube channel and never, ever vote for a Republican again. Now, I had my figures messed up earlier. I have 487 subscribed now. My goal is 500. I'm going to reach that 500. And the winter is coming, and so I won't be outside gardening so much, even though I want to let everybody know that the wife and I are planning on setting up gardening in our house. Okay, we're going to be putting that out, and we're going to be growing stuff in the house. Okay, and for the summer, I have a little room in my house, that's kind of high. It's glass all around, so I'm going to take it insulated, put some dirt up there, and I'm going to grow my food. So I'm not starving them, Brack. I ain't messing around with these damn Republicans. You mess where you ass to stop. I'm going out today and get some more food so I can live through the thing. This is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte Podcast and the Heavy Monte Comedy Show. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and never vote for a Republican. And Donald Trump, I think he might be a pedophile, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out. Have a great day and the rest of your Sunday. And look for the Reverend Daniel Jones. He'll be coming out later on. I got to do it. I've been working on this character for a while. I'm trying to get better. So have a great day, America, and never, ever vote for a Republican again.